investigation means looking in and seeing what happened. It's kind of the mystery part. And you could actually study that at my school. And I have a good friend who wanted to be in the CSI TV show. So she would go join the CSI club. And she said it's too hard. She said it's very hard to be in the CSI club because they, every week, they have to go and compete with other CSI clubs to solve some mysteries. And, but she wanted to be on the CSI TV show. But now she is working as, I think she's working as a police officer in Texas. So she kind of got to be a little bit like that, a little bit, so. Anyway, so there are many TV shows, books even more, so many mystery books. The people of England have made many very good mystery books. Jane Marple, Investigator Poirot, Sherlock Holmes is also an English one. I'm trying to think of those. They just have a whole bunch of people, and they write them very well. They write the books very well and very interesting. So I like to watch the TV shows and movies that they make about them. I'm not very good with reading mystery books, though. It takes a long time to read them. But I like to watch the TV shows and the movies. Okay, so mystery is who, what, where, when, why, and how. Okay, we're trying to figure these things out. Okay, so the first thing we need is evidence. Okay, evidence is proof. Okay, so what do you know would be some examples of evidence? What could we use as evidence?
To prove something.
Yeah, to prove. So if I say, oh, he did it, I need evidence, I need proof. So what can I use to say that he did it?
Some picture, video, or
Picture, video.
someone.
Okay, so if you look here, some people have left their, do you know what that's called? Fingerprints. Fingerprint, okay. I don't know who did that, but a detective could use the fingerprints, DNA. What else could they use?
Hair.
Hair, very good. Okay, hair. Blood, right? They could use blood. Clothing. If maybe I'm the killer and we were in the forest and maybe some of my clothing ripped off, okay, that could be used as evidence. They use footprints. Footprints, tire tracks from cars, the tire prints. Let's see what else. Really anything can be used as evidence as long as you have enough of it, okay? So if we don't have enough, we can only guess. We say, oh, maybe this happens, or I'm not very sure. So you're not sure because there's not enough evidence. So when you first see something, you can only guess about it because you're not sure. So you have to wait and find more evidence. When you have enough evidence, you can make a deduction. So a deduction is when we say, I know, or it must be, or you're very, very sure, and you have enough evidence. Okay, so if I'm a detective and I just keep guessing, that's not good. Okay, I have to be sure before I say that somebody is a bad guy. Otherwise, the bad guy will get away, and maybe an innocent person, the person that didn't do it, will get in trouble. So we have to be very sure. But we can use guesses and deductions and evidence in just looking at pictures. Okay, so let's look here. Turn this back on. Alright, so let's say I'm a detective and I have to solve a mystery. And the bad guy, after he left the crime scene, forgot his camera. Okay, he forgot his camera, and on the camera is one picture. It's not very clear, but he left one picture for us to try and find him. Okay, so let's look at this picture. What can we guess or deduce, make a deduction about this picture? What do we know for sure? So what can we deduce? What do we know 100% for sure?
In Taipei.
In Taipei. Okay, so what is the evidence? So maybe if you look here, like this would be evidence, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And the bus.
Ah, the bus. Yeah. So only Taipei has those buses, usually. Okay. And we can see this brand you can find in Taiwan or Taipei. Okay. What about this here? Is this evidence, these words? That could be or couldn't be, because we're not very sure. Maybe this is China, maybe this is Taiwan, or this could be San Francisco. It could be Chinatown in San Francisco. But if one of the signs, if you look over here, okay, maybe it says Xindian. If it said Xindian, then we would know for sure that it is in Taipei. Okay. What else are we very sure about? Okay, is it day or night?
Day.
Day, okay, what is our evidence? How do we know that it is daytime? The light, right? Okay, it's light outside. Alright, do we know what time it is?
Maybe morning.
Maybe morning, it could be the afternoon though. So there we would be a guess, okay? So we know that it's during the day, we just don't know exactly what time, okay? Do we know what year this is? No, we're not sure, but we do know one thing. It is not a long time ago, okay? It is not very old. How do we know it's not old?
Car.
Yeah, the cars. If you look at the cars, they all look pretty new. Okay? If it was 70 years ago, they would not be driving this type of car. Or motorcycles, maybe. Let's see, what else? Okay, so do we know if this is a city or a town? City. How do we know it's a city?
Many people and
Many people, many buildings, everything is very close together, and many cars, okay? So it's definitely a city. And we know that this place, it is not cold. There's no snow, okay? So it must be a little bit warmer. Maybe it's in the summer. Okay, we don't know for sure, but we do know it's not somewhere that has snow. Okay, there's no snow. Okay, so we can make a lot of guesses. It's easy to make a guess, but it's kind of hard to make a deduction sometimes without evidence. So we really need evidence. Okay, let's try one more. Okay. Okay, so we know here at the top it's Shili Night Market, okay? But what could we say about this picture? What do we know for sure, other than it's Shili Night Market? What do we know for sure?
It's night.
Night, right? And our evidence is here, the black sky. Okay. Once again, we don't know what time at night. Okay. But in Taiwan, what time do night markets usually close? Midnight, okay? So we know it must be before midnight and probably after 6 o'clock, right? Because it's already dark. So we know it's between those two times. So maybe around 8 o'clock because there's a lot of people. Okay, could be. What else do we know about this picture?
Store.
Yeah, there's stores. There's things to buy. Okay, do we know if this picture is very old or new? New, right? Because if you look at some of these stores like Skin Food, they're all fairly newer stores. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about this store, Skin Food. Okay, is it a Taiwanese store? No, it's Korean, right? So we could say that the people shopping here are open to buying many different countries' clothing. Okay. If we did not know that it was Sudi Night Market, we could say, oh, this is some sort of market. Okay, just by all the stores and all the people and all the food. And we know it's Taiwan because probably the Chinese words, maybe if we knew what food they were buying at the night market, because some food is very traditional in Taiwan, like maybe pig's blood. The pig's blood is very good, or my favorite is the, what is it called? Ji pie. Shilian's ji pie is very good, okay? So there are some foods that you might not find anywhere else. Okay, so that would help us figure out. Okay, one more thing, we could say that it's probably cold outside because we see people wearing some heavier jackets. Okay, so maybe we could say that it's around November or December. Okay, so some people are still wearing short sleeve shirts. Okay, so maybe it's not too cold, but not very hot, so it's not summertime. Taiwan in the summer is very hot. So I would never be wearing a coat like this in the summer. Let's see what else. Okay, so I think that's about it. But this is just kind of practice to get us thinking about the details. Okay, the details of something. Okay, so let's quickly try this. Okay, so these are riddles. So these are small mysteries that we have to try to solve. Okay, so this is one mystery. So with these mysteries, you have to do something special. You have to think outside the box. Okay, so you have to be very careful when you think about these things. What can you guess? What do you know for sure? Okay, the answer might not be that easy. And this is supposed to help us work our brains so we think like a detective. Okay, so this is the first one. This is called iced tea. Okay, so let's look at this. Two girls ate dinner together. They both ordered iced tea. One girl drank them very fast and had finished 5 in the time it took the other to drink just 1. Okay, so we have 2 girls. They're both drinking iced tea. One is drinking iced tea very fast, and she drinks 5 of them. The other girl is drinking very slow, and she drinks 1. Okay. The girl who drank 1 died, while the other survived. All of the drinks were poisoned. How did the girl who drank the most survive? Okay. So 2 girls, 5 drinks for one, 1 drink for the other. She drank very slow and she drank very fast. This one died, but this one survived. Okay, and both of the drinks drinks had poison in them.